Hello. So here we start off a game between two 2100s. I am playing as black and white starts off with e4. I choose to play the Caro-Kann with c6, d5. He plays knight f3. I play d5 and this was an interesting move. He put his knight in the front and here I kind of panicked and I should have played a simple move like takes. But then I played this, which wasn't quite the right move, I think. However, the game went on and he defended his knight with the bishop. I attacked it further. He moved it back. I developed my knight as usual, standard game. He takes, I take, and he pushed his pawn front, inhibiting my knight movement. So now my idea was b6, bishop b7 to get the long diagonal for my bishop in the future. He pinned my knight. I played bishop b7. He took, I took, and he planted his knight on e5. I played my queen to c7 because it was under attack. He reinforced a pin. I went against the pin. And now he brought his knight, preparing knight b5. His idea being to pin my pieces and take my bishop and create some pin ideas in the future. So I stopped that immediately with a6. He castles. I put my knight on e6, preparing knight g6. And if he takes, I take, and then we trade bishops. So that would be good for me because I have a bishop versus his knight. But he puts his queen here. I, however, carry with my plan, and he puts his rook. I didn't understand this move quite, and here I felt that I could just take the bishop for free. But then my idea was, after takes, if I push my pawn on f6, pinning the queen, I think he had some queen back to g4 ideas, attacking my e6 pawn and creating check opportunities, some ideas, and attack my king. So just to be on the safe side, I castled first. However, he allowed me to play the idea anyway by doing this. And now I played f6, carrying on with the plan. Here the difference being, if he places queen back, taking the pawn on e6 wouldn't be that dangerous to me as I could just put my queen on h8. So I freely took his knight and put my king on h8. Here he made an interesting choice and took the pawn with his rook instead of the pawn. I think he was afraid of bishop c5 after pawn takes, creating a problem on the f2 square. So here I just standardly took his rook and he asked for a queen trade as well. Now you must be thinking why I am showing you this game. The reason is I wanted to show you how to cleanly win a winning endgame. If you see, I am a rook up and it's pretty easy to win. But many people mess up this position and settle for a draw. So I want to show you the smoothest way of winning this. So here I put my rook. I put my rook on e8, attacking the pawn. He defends it. And here I play a move g5. The idea being to deflect his pawn and take the pawn on e5. So he defends it with his knight. And now I take it. He takes. And I push my pawn. Now you must be thinking this is a free pawn. But the idea is I take this pawn, which deflects his knight away. So he defends the pawn first, intending to take mine. But here that allows me to give a check. And now the whole point of d4 comes into point with my rook jumping in and it being defended by my bishop. So here I put my rook here because I could have taken this pawn, but I chose to defend mine as well, as a knight in forward and two pawns advancing would create problems for me. So here I felt a little surprised when he wanted to trade for rooks, but here since my rook is already defended, I didn't need to hurry. So I just played a standard d3 move. The idea being to clear the position and open up my rook. Takes, and he takes my rook. I take. Now he does this. The idea being to push his pawns down the board. So here I first play this, attacking his knight pawn on f4. So he pushes it, defending it, and I attack it again. Now the idea of mine is if he pushes this pawn, I give a check and I take this pawn on e5. So He has to bring his king up, first attacking my rook. Now, if I take the pawn, then he takes my rook simply, and we become equal. And if I take with my rook, it's not an ideal exchange for me. Even though it's winning, I chose a better option. I played bishop to g4. The idea being to pin, and now I can take this pawn without the knight taking because it'll be check after taking. He plays h3 attacking mine, but here I think he missed it, but he gave away a free knight. Even though he got my pawn, now I have a rook. And all I have to do is smoothly. So how do you smoothly win this endgame? First, you cut out his king, which I did with my rook, cutting out his king. So his king cannot come to his pawns, because king with the pawns will create problems for me in the future. So now my role is just bringing my king towards the pawns and taking them one by one, with my rook being in the same position. So I start my king journey. And he pushes that pawn. Here, now, if I move my king anywhere, it would be a waste of time. So I just chose to take the free pawn. And he moves his king again. And here, I bring my rook back, intending to push my h pawn now down the board. He pushed his pawn, I started pushing mine, and I attack both his pawns at the same time. He gives a check, but I just play king e8, and now I take his pawn with check, and here he resigned. So this was just a smooth finish to an already winning game.